Hey there and hello on this fine Sunday, getting ready to watch the Broncos game. After finishing this video and getting it posted. So this week we learned about Meisner and his acting method. Uh, I felt, much like Adler, that this was a little closer to what I practice with my students. Maybe not as much as I thought I had, though. And I learned some things that I definitely want to include and adjust for future lessons where I'm talking about acting methods and he is concerned. Um, I think the big standout is because learning about Meisner had great timing, even though it was completely unintentional, but great timing for me. We just received as a cast the adjudication feedback from the outsiders this last week, actually, just on Friday. And as I was going through the form, there's a section for comments at the bottom from the adjudicator that are outside of the plethora of boxes that they are able to check or not check. And in their comments, one of the things that the adjudicator said is for future productions, it's always helpful if actors can try and focus more on their characters' objectives in the scenes, as well as the overall given circumstances of the play. There were a few moments where I felt like actors were focused mostly on playing the emotion of the scene rather than focusing on objectives, obstacles, given circumstances, and what's at stake. I thought this was interesting because the first part, right in line with what Meisner had taught and what Pope discussed in his essay, that Meisner didn't want actors to focus on playing the emotion. It actually said that his work focused on the attention of the actor not being on themselves but on others. Um, so again, right in line with what the adjudicator is saying, like don't play the emotion. But then the second part of what the adjudicator said must really stem from his training as an actor, I'm guessing, or his experience, because focusing on the objectives of the scene, as he called them. Uh, I just lost my place. The obstacles, the objectives, obstacles, and given circumstances, what's at stake. Um, yes, those are all good things, and I'm not saying that he's wrong, but that is in contradiction to what Meisner was saying because Meisner would have been telling, I should say, would have been telling my students to um, focus on their interactions with the other characters and how are they going to convince the other characters of what they should be doing next. Uh, and I actually think in this case for the outsiders, should we get the opportunity to perform on main stage in December, fingers crossed, I have no idea. I really don't know. Um, that this would be really great feedback for them and then a way to bring the performance to the next level. I also feel like this will be great feedback for them because, as I had mentioned in a previous video, I have had some struggles with students trying to use the method uh, to get to convey the feelings that they are trying to convey on stage, and I've had concerns about that. I have even more concerns about that now, considering the loss of a cast member in this process, and should they need to perform this show again. I don't feel that any of them are in a place to be able to draw from real emotion like that because I don't think it will serve the purposes of the show the way that the kids would want it to. Um, I think it's just too raw and too fresh right now for them to be able to draw from that, especially concerning death. And at the end, we all know that at the end of Outsiders, when Johnny dies, like I think it'll just be too much for them if they try to use the method as they feel that they need to use the method to pull from their experiences. So I think Meisner's method will be a much safer bet to get them where they want to be if we have the opportunity to perform again. Um, The other standout to me was in the second essay that we read when it was talking about the um, neighborhood theater, I believe is the name of it, uh, and wanting to, or I shouldn't say wanting to, guys, wow, I'm struggling with words today. Um, the idea at the end of the year of letting the first year students perform what they've learned to second year students, to other courses, to the staff, all of those things. Um, I really loved that idea. I didn't love the idea that only a third of the actors made it into the second year. That seems a little bit mean. I'm not saying that they all deserved it, but like a third is rough. uh, I guess I'm too tenderhearted for that. But just this idea of having this like day to show what they have learned, and not even necessarily for just first year students. Yes, my intro students, but I think it would be great for acting students too, which is my next level up since I only get to teach the 3 classes. But if my intro class and my acting class could get together and be like, hey, here is this performance that shows you all of the things that we've learned, I think that that would be a really great way to wrap up a semester, uh, to celebrate their learning, to see where they can go with their learning in the intro classes case, to get feedback from those that have been doing it a little bit longer, and to really actually put like more skin in the game as far as that final goes, and knowing like they're not just doing it for their friends in their class, like they will actually be performing for people outside of their class. I think that would lead my freshmen to take the final a little more seriously that they don't always want to do. Not all of them. Some of them are great, but there are some that struggle. So I think that this could be a really cool way to engage all students in this final, while also making it a really cool way to grow my program because they can see what is possible if they keep going. Anyways, those are my thoughts for this week. A little bit long, so sorry, but there they are. Um, Nearing the end of the semester, and I can't be more grateful.